The parable of the sower, Mark 4:19, Luke 8:48, 1. And in that day Jesus, having come out of the house, sat by the sea. 2. And many crowds were assembled together to him. Therefore, having entered into the ship, he sat down, and all the crowd stood upon the seashore. 3. And he spake to them many things in parables, saying, Behold, he, the sower, went forth to sow. 4. And in his sowing some truly fell by the way, and the flying things came and swallowed them down. 5. And others fell upon rocky places where it had not much earth, and quickly it sprang forth, for it had no depth of earth. 6. And the sun having risen, it was parched up, and for the not having a root, it was dried up. 7. And others fell among thorns, and the thorns came up and choked them. 8. And others fell upon good earth and gave fruit, some truly 100, and some 60, and some 30. 9. He having ears to hear, let him hear. The purpose of Jesus' parables, Isaiah 6:1-13, Mark 4:10-12, Luke 8:9-10. 10. And the disciples, having come near, said to him, Why speakest thou to them in parables? 11. And having answered, he said to them, For to you it was given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the heavens, but to them it was not given. 12. For whoever has shall be given to him, and he shall have an excess, and whoever has not, also what he has shall be taken away from him. 13. For this I speak to them in parables, for seeing they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. 14. And the prophecy of Esaias is filled up in them, saying, In hearing shall ye hear, and not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and not perceive. 15. For the heart of this people has been thickened, and with their ears have they heard heavily, and their eyes have they closed, lest perhaps they should see with the eyes, and hear with the ears, and understand with the heart, and turn back, and I should heal them. 16. But happy your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. 17. For verily I say to you that many prophets and just desired eagerly to see what ye see and saw not, and to hear what ye hear and heard not. The parable of the sower explained, Mark 4:13-20, Luke 8:11-15, 18. Therefore hear ye the parable of him sowing. 19. Everyone hearing and not understanding, the evil one comes and carries off that sown in his heart. This is he having sown by the way. 20. And he having sown upon rocky places, this is he hearing the word, and quickly with joy receiving it. 21. And has no root in himself, but is for a time, and there being pressure or expulsion for the word, straightly is he offended. 22. And he having sown among thorns, this is he hearing the word, and the care of this time, and the deceit of riches, choke the word, and it is unfruitful. 23. But he having sown upon good earth is he hearing the word, and understanding, who indeed bears fruit, and who makes truly 100, and who 60, and who 30. The parable of the weeds, Ezekiel 17:1-10. 24. Another parable said he before them, saying, The kingdom of the heavens was made like a man sowing good seed in his field. 25. And in men sleeping, his enemy came and sowed tares in the midst of the wheat and went away. 26. And when the grass sprouted up and made fruit, then appeared the tares also. 27. And the servants of the master of the house having come said to him, Lord, didst thou not sow good seed in thy field, whence therefore has it tares? 28. And he said to them, A man, an enemy, has done this. And his servant said to him, Wilt thou therefore we, having departed, should gather them? 29. And he said, No, lest gathering the tares ye root up the wheat together with them. 30. Suffer both to grow together till harvest. And in time of harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, and gather the wheat into my barn. The parable of the mustard seed, Mark 4:30-34, Luke 13:18-19. 31. Another parable set he before them, saying, The kingdom of the heavens is like a kernel of mustard, which a man taking sowed in his field. 32. Which truly is less than all seeds, but when it has grown, it is greater than vegetables, and becomes a tree, so that the flying things of heaven come and lodge in its young shoots. The parable of the leaven, Luke 13:20-21. 33. Another parable spake he to them. The kingdom of the heavens is like to leaven, which a woman having taken, hid in 3 measures of wheaten flour, till the whole was leavened. I will open my mouth in parables. Psalm 78, 172. 34. All these things spake Jesus in parables to the crowds, and without a parable spake he not to them. 35. So that spoken by the prophet might be filled up, saying, I will open my mouth in parables. I will declare things having been hid from the foundation of the world. The parable of the weeds explained, Zephaniah 1:1-6. 36. Then Jesus, having dismissed the crowds, went into the house, and his disciples came to him, saying, Explain to us the parable of the tares of the field. 37. And he having answered, said to them, He sowing the good seed is the Son of Man. 38. And the field is the world. And the good seed, these are the sons of the kingdom, and the tares are the sons of the evil one. 39. And the enemy having sowed them is the devil, and the harvest is the end of time, and the reapers are the messengers. 40. As therefore the tares are gathered together and burnt in fire, so shall it be in the end of this time. 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his messengers, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all scandals and those doing iniquity. 42. And they shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. 43. Then shall the just emit a brilliant light as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. He having ears to hear, let him hear. The parables of the treasure and the pearl. 44. Again, the kingdom of the heavens is like to a treasure hid in the field, which a man finding concealed, and from his joy he retires, and all things which he has he sells, and he purchases that field. 45. Again, the kingdom of the heavens is like to a man, a wholesale merchant, seeking beautiful pearls. 46. Who finding one pearl of great value, having departed, he sold all things which he had and purchased it. The parable of the net. 47. Again, the kingdom of the heavens is like to a large sweep net, cast into the sea, and having gathered of every kind. 48. Which when it was filled, having raised up upon the shore, and having set down, they gathered the good things into vessels, and the rotten things they cast without. 49. So shall it be in the end of time. The messenger shall come forth, and separate the evil from the midst of the just. 50. And they shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. 51. Jesus says to them, Have ye understood all these? They say to him, Yes, Lord. 52. And he said to them, Therefore every scribe, having been a disciple in the kingdom of the heavens, is like to a man, master of a house, who casts out from his treasure new things and old. The rejection at Nazareth. Mark 6:1-6, Luke 4:16-30. 53. And it was when Jesus finished these parables, he removed thence. 54. And having come into his native land, he taught them in their assembly, so that they were struck with amazement, and said, Whence to him this wisdom and powers? 55. Is not this the son of the carpenter? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Joses and Simon and Judas? 56. And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then to him all these? 57. And they were scandalized in him. And Jesus said to them, A prophet is not unhonored, except in his native land and in his house. 58. And he did not many powers there, because of their unbelief. The beheading of John. Mark 6:14-29, Luke 9:7-9. 1. In that time Herod the Tetrarch heard the report of Jesus. 2. And he said to his servants, This is John the Baptist. B was aroused from the dead, and for this powers are energetic in him. 3. For Herod, having seized John, bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias, his brother Philip's wife. 4. For John said to him, It is not lawful for thee to have her. 5. And wishing to kill him, he was afraid of the crowd, because they held John as a prophet. 6. The festivities of Herod's birthday being celebrated, the daughter of Herodias danced in the midst, and pleased Herod. 7. Wherefore, with an oath, he agreed to give her whatever she should ask. 8. And having been urged on by her mother, give me, she says, here upon a board, the head of John the Baptist. 9. And the king was grieved, but for his oath, and those reclining together at the table he ordered to be given. 10. And having sent, he beheaded John in the prison. 11. And his head was brought upon a board, and given to the girl, and she brought to her mother. 12. And his disciples, having come near, took away the body, and interred it. And having come, they announced to Jesus. The feeding of the 5,000, Mark 6:30-44, Luke 9:10-17, John 6:1-15, 13. And Jesus, having heard, withdrew from thence into a desert place apart, and the crowds, having heard, followed him on foot from the cities. 14. And Jesus, having come, saw a great crowd, and he felt compassion for them, and he cured their sick. 15. And being evening, his disciples came to him, saying, It is a desert place, and the time has passed already. Loose the crowds, that, having gone into towns, they might purchase food for themselves. 16. But Jesus said to them, They have no need to depart. Give ye them to eat. 17. And they say to him, We have not here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. 18. And he said, Bring them here to me. 19. And having encouraged the crowds to recline upon the grass, and having taken the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and having looked up to heaven, he praised, and having broken, gave the loaves to the disciples, and the disciples to the crowds. 20. And they all ate, and were satisfied, and they took up the remaining of fragments, 12 baskets full. 21. And they eating were 5,000 men, besides women and children. Jesus walks on water, Mark 6:45-52, John 6:16-21. 22. And quickly Jesus constrained his disciples to go into the ship, and to go before him to the other side, till he should loose the crowds. 23. And having loosed the crowds, he went up into a mount apart to pray, and being evening, he was there alone. 24. And the ship was already in the midst of the sea, overcharged by waves, for the wind was contrary. 25. And in the 4th watch of the night Jesus went out to them, walking upon the sea. 26. And the disciples, seeing him walking upon the sea, were troubled, saying, It is an apparition, and they cried out for fear. 27. And quickly Jesus spake to them, saying, Take courage, I am, be not afraid. 28. And Peter, having answered him, said, Lord, if thou art, encourage me to come upon the waters. 29. And he said, Come. And Peter, having gone down from the ship, walked upon the waters to go to Jesus. 30. And seeing the wind strong, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. 31. And quickly Jesus, having stretched out the hand, laid hold of him, and says to him, O thou of little faith, for what didst thou doubt? 32. And having gone into the ship, the wind ceased. 33. And they in the ship, having come, worshipped him, saying, Thou art truly the Son of God. Jesus heals at Gennesaret, Mark 6:53-56. 34. And having passed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret. 35. And the men of the place, having known him, sent into the whole country round about, and brought to him all those having evils. 36. And besought him that they might only touch the hem of his garment. And as many as touched were saved from danger.